The cold air inside the prison cell made her skin hurt. Lieutenant Arya sat alone on the metal floor, her back straight, her eyes fixed on the small camera in the corner. She had been there for 3 days, with no food, no light, and no answers. The alien guards came only once a day just to look at her. They never spoke. But today, something was different. Heavy boots echoed outside the door. The lock clicked, and the thick metal door opened. 2 tall Kelvari soldiers entered, their armor shining under the hallway lights. They were insect-like creatures with hard shells and sharp limbs. One of them pointed at her without speaking. Arya stood up slowly. She knew what this meant. They marched her down the narrow corridor, past other empty cells, past blinking red lights, and into a wide chamber filled with buzzing machines. At the center stood a tall judge figure, surrounded by alien officials. There were cameras everywhere. This was not a trial. This was a show. Arya was forced to her knees. A bright light hit her face. A Kelvari officer stepped forward and spoke in his rough voice. "This human is guilty of spreading false peace. She came to deceive us with her lies. Earth believes it can fool the Kelvari Empire. Today we show the galaxy that Kelvari do not kneel to weaklings." The crowd of aliens hissed in agreement. Arya looked up. Her hands were bound, her body weak, but her spirit remained strong. She stared into the main broadcast camera and spoke in a calm voice. "My name is Lieutenant Arya Monroe of Earth's Diplomatic Corps. I came here to offer peace. I warned you what would happen if I died. I told you Earth listens, even when it stays silent. You still have a chance to stop. Please, don't do this." The judge raised a hand. "Enough." The executioner stepped forward. In his hands was a weapon designed not to kill, but to humiliate. A slow-cut beam, meant to make death painful and public. The Kelvari believed this would break Earth's will. They were wrong. As the weapon activated, the camera captured Arya's last breath. She did not scream. She did not beg. Her final words were soft but clear. "I'm sorry, I really tried." Then everything went black. The broadcast was sent across the galaxy. News channels picked it up. Some laughed, some stayed silent. But one signal reached its final destination: Earth. Inside a mountain deep below the surface, an AI system woke up. Its only job was to watch for this exact moment. A screen lit up. A voice spoke through secured channels. "Arya Monroe, confirmed deceased. Activate Wrath Protocol?" In less than 3 seconds, the answer came from the President of Earth. Just one word: yes. Warning lights turned red. Satellites shifted in orbit. Hidden launch bays opened in the asteroid belts. Deep in space, black ships blinked into existence, silent, cold, and deadly. These ships had no name in public records. No human citizen knew they existed. But the galaxy would know soon. At the edge of Earth's solar system, a massive object woke from its long sleep. Its size was terrifying, 20 kilometers long, shaped like a spear. It had one purpose: total destruction. Its name was simple: judgment. Thus, Wrath Fleet received its orders. Every ship powered up, engines hummed with fury. AI pilots synced their minds with old battle codes. Human commanders checked their weapons one last time, from Arya's last breath to full launch. Exactly 33 minutes back on Kelvar 9, the celebration continued. The aliens danced and cheered. They thought they had won, that they had sent a message to Earth. But they had misunderstood everything. Earth did not send Arya because it was weak. Earth sent her to give the Kelvari one chance. And now, that chance was gone. In a secret Kelvari outpost far from the main world, an old alien technician replayed Arya's final words. He had been the only one to truly listen to her. He watched her calm face as she spoke of peace, of danger, of choices. He felt a strange feeling inside his chest. Fear. He turned to his superior. "Sir, I think we made a mistake." The superior laughed. "Don't be a fool. Earth will bark, maybe growl, but it won't bite." At that exact moment, the stars outside shifted. A shadow passed over their moon. Systems began to fail. Signals dropped, and one word repeated on their emergency screens in red human text: "Judgment incoming." The technician whispered, "We didn't send a message. We dug our own grave." The sky began to glow, and the wrath of Earth was just beginning. The moment Arya died, Earth changed. Far below Earth's surface, inside a classified base known only as Deep Core 7, red lights began to flash. Sirens remained silent. This wasn't a drill. This was real. The Wrath Protocol had been triggered for the first time in human history. On a massive wall screen, Arya's final moments played on repeat. No one in the room spoke. Soldiers, scientists, and officers stood frozen, watching her soft voice and calm face as she tried to stop what was coming. But it was too late. "Protocol confirmed," the AI announced. "Wrath Fleet status ready." At the center of the control room, General Marcus Hale stood still, his fists clenched. He had known Arya. He had trained her. He had begged the Council not to send her alone. She told them. She gave them a chance, he said quietly. Now that chance was gone. In the skies above Earth, dozens of black ships activated one by one. Their engines did not roar. They hummed, low and cold. These were ghost ships, invisible to most sensors, built in secret over 30 years. They were never made to defend. They were made to erase. High in orbit, Earth's Judicator AI, codenamed Sentinel, began broadcasting coded signals into deep space. The galaxy wouldn't hear them. Only one fleet would. Across asteroid fields, near dead stars, behind hidden moons, Earth's wrath began to move. In one such hidden zone, a massive warship called Daggerfall came to life. Its human captain, Commander Ilara Voss, stepped onto the bridge. "Target confirmed," said her XO. "Kelvar 9, orders a full purge." Ilara stared at the screen. She saw Arya's last words. She didn't blink. She simply nodded. "Then we go dark. No. Warnings. No signals, no voice. We are not here to speak. We are here to end this." The fleet disappeared into hyperspace, silent, fast, and angry. Meanwhile, on Kelvar 9, the aliens were still celebrating. Their leaders made speeches. Their soldiers laughed. Some alien worlds even broadcasted the execution as a symbol of Kelvari strength. They believed Earth was quiet because it was afraid. But back on the Kelvari homeworld, strange reports started to arrive. A mining station near the edge of their system had gone silent. A patrol ship sent to investigate never returned. The Kelvari dismissed it. "Technical errors," they said. "A storm." Then the third outpost vanished. The Kelvari High Tribunal grew nervous. They ordered a fleet to prepare. But it was too late. 33 minutes after Arya's death, the first Wrath ship arrived. It didn't land. It didn't hail. It simply hovered in orbit above a Kelvari moon and fired one shot. The entire moon cracked in half. Millions of lives vanished in an instant. The signal delay was only seconds, but those few seconds changed everything. On Kelvar 9, the ground shook. Everyone stopped. A voice finally reached their emergency channels. It was not a demand. It was not a speech. It was a system-generated human voice. "This is not war. This is judgment. No mercy will be shown. This is the cost of her blood." The Kelvari commanders screamed for answers. Their systems were jammed. Their weapons wouldn't lock. Their satellites melted. Earth's technology was faster, smarter, and colder than anything the Kelvari had ever imagined. Fleet Commander Varan of the Kelvari Defense Council shouted into the command net, "We must open diplomacy now. This is a misunderstanding." But there was no one to hear. Earth wasn't listening anymore. Back on Earth, in Deep Core 7, General Hale watched the incoming footage. One after another, Kelvari colonies were wiped off. The map. Their fleets tried to respond, but were gone in seconds. He didn't smile, he didn't cheer, he just stared. Arya didn't want this, he whispered. She gave them every chance. They answered with death. A junior officer looked up from her console. "Sir, how far do we go?" General Hale turned toward her slowly. His face was stone. Until silence. Back in space, Daggerfall arrived in high orbit over Kelvar 9. Ilara Voss stood on her bridge, eyes cold. "Begin Phase 2, she ordered. Massive, soundless weapons unfolded from the ship's belly. Planet-wide jammers activated. Lights across. Kelvar 9 began to flicker. Then all communication stopped. In one small corner of the planet, a Kelvari mother held her children and stared at the dark sky. She didn't understand what was happening, but deep in her bones, she felt something ancient. Fear. Kelvar 9's moon was gone. Their ships were falling, and from the stars above, Earth's wrath had arrived. Not to fight, to finish, and this was only the beginning. The stars above Kelvar 9 suddenly changed. One moment they were calm and bright, the next something huge blocked them out. A shadow moved across the sky, silent, massive, and cold. It didn't send a message, it didn't flash lights, it just hovered above the planet like a silent god. On the surface, panic spread fast. People screamed, air raid sirens echoed. The Kelvari military scrambled to respond, but their command links were dead. Their ships couldn't take off. Defense systems were frozen, locked out by an unseen force. Above them, the Wrath fleet was not waiting. The first strike came without warning. It started with a small base on the edge of a canyon. A blue light hit it from orbit. The base didn't explode. It just vanished. Not a single sound, not even smoke. Everything inside the light was erased completely. Other bases tried to respond. Their missiles never launched. Their radars stayed blind. Then, one by one, they were erased too. Back in Kelvar 9's capital city, the High Tribunal gathered in fear. Commander Varron shouted into broken comms, "Where is our fleet? Where are our defense drones?" No one answered. He turned to the room. "This is not a war. This is a total kill operation." Some leaders begged for peace. Some demanded retaliation. None had answers. Then the main screen turned on by itself. Everyone went quiet. The image showed Earth's Judicator AI, a black screen with one red human eye. Its voice was calm, no emotion. "Your actions were recorded. Your decision was final. Her death triggered Protocol 33. Your sentence is being carried out." One Kelvari councillor shouted, "We demand negotiation." The voice replied, "You had your chance. She was the offer." And the screen went black again. Outside the council building, the sky began to rain fire. Dozens of Earth's kinetic rods fell from orbit. Metal weapons dropped at hypersonic speed. No engines, no fuel, just steel, mass, and gravity. Each hit like a nuclear bomb, but with no radiation. Entire districts were crushed. Factories turned to dust. The Kelvari homeworld shook. In one hidden bunker, a group of young Kelvari soldiers watched in terror. One of them, barely an adult, whispered, "They didn't come to fight us. They came to erase us." His commander nodded. "We killed their offer. This is the answer." On the other side of the planet, at the ruins of a Kelvari moon station, a single transmission managed to send out one final image before the base fell. A giant human ship, its hull painted black, its weapons glowing red. On the side, in human text, was one word: justice. Galactic news channels picked up the signal. Worlds across the galaxy watched in horror. Empires that had once mocked Earth suddenly went silent. Even the pirate worlds stopped their raids. The message was clear. Earth would give peace once, only once. After that, there was no mercy. In a command center deep in space, Commander Ilara Voss stood on her bridge as Earth's weapons rained down on Kelvar 9. She didn't blink. She didn't celebrate. She whispered to herself, "This is not revenge. This is what happens when you kill peace." Back on Earth, General Hale watched the live feeds. Arya's face remained on the wall behind him. Her final message played in a soft loop, over and over again. He spoke into his comms. "Status report. 30% of Kelvar 9 is now offline," came the reply. "Their fleet has not launched. No resistance so far." Hale nodded. "Proceed. Full execution. No contact." In space, the Wrath fleet split into formations. Each ship took a part of the planet. No communication. No hesitation. On the ground, Kelvari civilians ran. Some begged the skies for mercy, but Earth's ships were not there to listen. They were there to complete the countdown. Arya's death had started a clock. And now, with every second, a world was being turned to ash. When Kelvari Elder, hiding in the ruins of an old temple, looked up at the smoke-filled sky, he remembered Arya's voice from the trial, her warning, her sadness. He turned to his grandchildren. "We should have listened. She was not our enemy. She was our last chance." The children didn't understand, but far above them, across the galaxy, the lesson was clear. Earth had tried to speak. Now it had stopped speaking. And when Earth goes silent, it's already too late. The fires on Kelvar 9 burned for hours. Cities once full of life were now silent craters. Black smoke rose into the sky. Earth's wrath moved across the planet like a shadow, fast, cold, and without pity. The Kelvari still didn't understand how Earth was doing it. Their scanners showed no ships. Their weapons couldn't lock targets. Their systems failed at random. But above them, in orbit, the Wrath fleet waited, completely cloaked, invisible to Kelvari eyes and machines. Inside one of Earth's ghost ships, Eclipse 1, Commander Ilara Voss watched a live feed of the destruction. Her crew sat in silence. No one cheered. No one smiled. This was not a victory. It was an answer. "Phase 3 complete," her second officer said. "Outer cities neutralized. Inner core remains." Ilara nodded. "We go deeper, until they remember." In the Kelvari capital, what was left of their government sat in the dark. The High Tribunal was dead. Their main command center was a smoking hole. Only a few survived, hidden in emergency bunkers. Fleet Commander Varron paced the floor, blood running down his shell. He had once laughed at Earth. He had called them soft, weak. But now, he whispered to himself, they weren't bluffing. They never were. A younger officer looked up. "Sir, what do we do?" Varron paused. "We surrender." The officer blinked. "To who?" There was no one to contact. No signal. No channel. Earth was not speaking. Some Kelvari tried to flee. They launched escape pods toward nearby moons. Every pod was silently destroyed mid-air by unseen weapons. Not one made it. Back on Eclipse 1, Ilara received a private transmission. It was from Earth Command. "General." Hale's voice was low. "Status. Kelvar 9's leadership is broken. Their fleet is gone. Civilian centers destroyed. Orders?" There was a pause. Then came Hale's reply. "You've made the point. Pull back. Let the smoke do the talking." Ilara leaned back in her chair. "Understood." The Wrath fleet began to vanish, one ship at a time. No engines fired, no trails were left. They simply faded back into the black, leaving a broken world behind. But Earth wasn't done. In the days that followed, every Kelvari communication satellite was wiped clean, their databases erased, their maps rewritten. Across the galaxy, all known Kelvari colonies were marked with one red word in human language: judged. The galaxy watched in silence. The once proud Kelvari Empire was now shattered. Their allies did not move. Their enemies did not laugh. Because they all saw the same thing. Earth was no longer a quiet world. Earth had stood up, and Earth remembered. In a distant observation station near the border of the core worlds, a group of alien scientists reviewed the footage of Arya's death and Earth's response. One of them, a historian named Lero, turned to his friend. They sent her in peace, alone. Yes, the other said softly, and we watched her die. Lero looked at the final message Earth had sent before the fleet disappeared. It was short, no threats, just 3 lines. One chance was given, it was refused. No further contact needed. Earth will not forget. Back on Kelvar 9, days turned into weeks. Survivors wandered through ruins, broken and afraid. Food ran low. Water systems failed. No one knew what was coming next. But nothing did. No more attacks, no more ships. Just silence. That silence was worse than fire. It meant Earth didn't even need to finish them. It had already won. In a dark room, Fleet Commander Varren recorded a final message. His voice was weak, filled with regret. To Earth, if this message reaches you, know this. We were wrong, she was right. We judged her weak and found her strong. We tried to kill peace, and in doing so, we brought judgment. May the stars forgive us. He ended the message and stored it in a crystal vault in case any future race found them. Not to make peace, just to leave a warning. In a quiet mountain on Earth, General Hale stood before a memorial wall. Aria Monroe's name was at the top. Her image flickered in soft white light. She tried to stop it, he said aloud, as if she could still hear him. She begged them, she warned them. Behind him the room was filled with other names, other lost diplomats, but none like her, none who changed the galaxy with silence and courage. Hale turned and left. Outside the world continued. Humans laughed, played, lived. But in the sky, hidden in orbit, the Wrath fleet still waited, silent, cloaked and watching. Earth had spoken once. Now the galaxy knew the truth. If Earth ever spoke again, it would not be with words. The Kelvari homeworld had gone silent. For the first time in recorded history, an entire empire vanished from galactic communication. Their colonies stopped responding. Their trade routes collapsed. Their ships disappeared. No war was declared. No peace treaty was signed, just silence. The galaxy whispered about Earth. Some feared it, some admired it. Many tried to forget what had happened, but Earth had not forgotten, and Earth had not finished. Far away, in a cold region of space, known as the Grave Zone, a secret meeting was taking place. 12 alien leaders from different species sat around a dark table. None of them trusted each other, but today they shared one thing in common: fear of Earth. A tall insectoid named Jorvak tapped the table with a claw. We all saw what happened. The humans didn't threaten, they didn't warn. They just erased the Kelvari. A short grey-skinned diplomat from the Norari system hissed, and now they say nothing. That's the worst part. No talks, no requests, just silence. A cybernetic warlord, part machine and part flesh, growled, "We should strike now. While they're still small, crush Earth before it spreads." The room went quiet. Then a female voice spoke from the shadows. She wore a dark hood, face hidden. "You think they're still small?" The warlord laughed. "They're one planet." "No," the woman said. "They were one planet. But while we played politics, they built fleets. While we laughed, they built weapons we still can't see. You think Kelvar 9 was a lesson?" She leaned forward. "That was a warning." The others looked at each other nervously. "Then what do we do?" one asked. "Submit?" "No," she said. "We understand. We study, we prepare, because one day they may speak again." Meanwhile, back on Earth, deep underground in Deep Core 7, new construction had begun. General Hale stood before a massive glass window looking at a ship being built in secret. Its name was Vengeance Class 1, bigger than anything Earth had ever made, not for peace, not even for war. It was made for the final word. Beside him, a scientist adjusted her tablet. "The new AI system is ready, sir. Fully independent. Smarter than anything the Kelvari ever saw, and completely loyal. Hale nodded. Good. Make sure it learns one thing above all else. She looked up. What's that? That silence isn't weakness. It's the sound before the storm. Up in orbit, Earth's Wrath fleet was being refitted. Faster drives, better weapons, cloaking systems that now could hide inside a stars. Corona, no signals, no flags, just readiness. Across human colonies, citizens went on with their lives. Children played, people worked, but everyone knew about Aria Monroe. Her face was on every monument, her story taught in every school. She had gone to speak for Earth. She had been killed without cause, and in 33 minutes Earth replied. Not with rage, not with noise, with judgment. In one human colony on Mars, a young cadet named Liam stared at the stars. His training partner nudged him. You think they'll ever do it again? Liam didn't look away. Only if they have to. What if someone else makes the same mistake? Liam's jaw tightened. Then the galaxy will burn again. Elsewhere on a neutral world, a historian race called the Talari gathered data. They studied every second of Aria's trial and execution. They watched every attack Earth launched after. They compared it with over 1,000 galactic wars and came to one conclusion. Earth was different. They did not fight for territory. They didn't conquer for power. They waited. They warned. And if they were ignored, they didn't fight battles. They ended them. One Talari researcher typed a note into the final record of the Kelvari Empire. They thought it was a message, but it was a warning. And when they killed the messenger, they woke the storm. That message was sent to every known archive. Not to protect Earth, to protect everyone else from Earth. Back in the shadows of deep space, Ilara Voss sat in a quiet room aboard her now docked warship. Her hands rested on a small hollow projector. She pressed a button. Aria's final message played again, soft, clear, and calm. I speak for Earth. I bring peace. But know this. If you strike me, you strike every child, every mother, every dream of my world. We are not what you think. We are not afraid. We are waiting. Ilara closed her eyes. We waited, she whispered, and now they all know. The stars outside twinkled, quiet, peaceful, but every admiral, every pirate, every empire knew that peace now existed because Earth allowed it. And if Earth ever stood up again, no one would survive the second silence. Some said Earth had gone back to sleep. Years passed. No new wars, no threats, no movement from the Wrath fleet. Trade returned. Talks between alien empires restarted. The Kelvari system was declared off-limits, marked as a dead zone. Even scavengers refused to enter. The fear remained, but curiosity is dangerous. In a far-off sector, a small group of explorers from the Varnak Syndicate broke that rule. Greedy for ancient tech and ruins, they landed on what was left of Kelvar 9. They found silence, and something else inside a destroyed city. Beneath collapsed towers, they discovered a bunker. Still running, still protected. Inside, a message, not from the Kelvari, but from Earth. It wasn't a threat, it was a recording. Aria Monroe's final speech, raw, full of hope, her voice calm and strong. The same message she had spoken just minutes before they killed her. I come from a world that once knew war. We chose peace. Do not mistake our choice for weakness. We offer friendship, but we remember pain. The explorers stared at the screen. They weren't soldiers, they weren't diplomats, but they understood one thing. This was sacred. They took nothing, not even a scan, and they left without another word. Word spread fast. Whispers turned into waves. Earth had left that message there, like a warning and a memorial, not for the Kelvari, for anyone else who might forget. Meanwhile, on Earth, high in the orbital command ring, General Hale listened to reports from across the stars. betrayed. With the Avar coalition is back, his aide said. Pirate activity has dropped 90% in outer sectors. No more border violations. Hale nodded. They're remembering. Remembering what, sir? That silence has weight. Below them Earth had changed. More colonies, more science. But no show of power. Humans walked softly. But the galaxy had not forgotten the storm behind their steps. In a hidden research center on Titan, a small team worked on something new. The Echo Protocol. It was not a weapon. Not exactly. It was a recording system that could send Earth's voice across the galaxy in real time. A way to speak one message instantly to every known system. One warning, one demand, one final choice. Ilara Voss, now Admiral, arrived to inspect the system. She asked the lead engineer, how far can it reach? Every star, every station, even the hidden empires. And how fast? Instant. There will be no delay. Ilara stared at the glowing console. Good. Make sure it's clear. The engineer nodded. The message is ready. It's the... When she spoke, Arya's message, her warning, her peace. Ilara nodded once. Let it wait. Elsewhere, a new power was rising, the Threx Dominion, young, bold, and full of pride. They'd heard of Earth, of course, but they didn't believe the stories. Old myths, said their ruler. No world has that kind of power. His generals nodded. Let us test them. And so, in secret, they attacked a small human science station on the edge of neutral space. No soldiers, just scientists. The station was unarmed. They killed everyone. No announcement. No reason. Then they sent a message to Earth. Let this be a lesson. We are not afraid of ghosts. For 2 days, Earth said nothing. The Threx celebrated. They prepared for war. They thought silence meant weakness again. They were wrong. On the 3rd day, every Threx system went dark. Their ships stopped mid-flight. Their stars dimmed. Their screens turned red. And then, one signal. It was Arya's face. The same message. The same voice. I bring peace. But if you strike, know this. Earth remembers. Behind her face appeared the Wrath Fleet. Every ship, every weapon moving in perfect silence. Threx citizens screamed. Their leaders begged, but no one was listening anymore. In 33 minutes, the Threx Dominion ended. Just like the Kelvari. No survivors, no ships escaped. Only one signal remained in their space. We warned you. The galaxy trembled. But this time, Earth did not vanish. This time they spoke. General Hale made a live transmission across the stars. To all who hear this, understand. We do not want war, we do not seek conquest, but we will never again ask twice. He paused. We gave the Kelvari one voice. They killed her. We gave the Threx one chance. They ignored it. He looked straight into the camera. There will not be a third. The message ended. Across the stars, no empire moved, no fleet launched. For the first time, true peace spread, not because of diplomacy, but because of fear. But to Earth, it was never about fear. It was about memory. The memory of one woman who believed peace was still possible, and the promise that if she was ignored again, the stars would burn. The stars were quiet now. No empires moved. No fleets dared cross Earth's path. Pirates stopped attacking human ships. Borders became still. The galaxy had seen too much. They had seen what happened to the Kelvari. They had seen what happened to the Threx. And they remembered the name of the woman who started it all, Arya Monroe. On Earth, her statue stood in Unity Plaza, not with weapons, not in armor. She stood with open hands and calm eyes, forever speaking peace. Children touched the base of the statue and asked, "Is it true?" She went alone. Parents nodded. She believed words were stronger than weapons. But they killed her. The children whispered, "Yes," their parents said, and because of that, Earth stood up. In a quiet room beneath the memorial, General Hale sat alone, watching a final recording. One never released to the public, Arya's private message. She had recorded it before leaving Earth, in case she didn't return. "If you're seeing this," she said softly, "then I didn't make it back." She smiled faintly. "I want you to remember I believed in peace. Even if they kill me, don't let hate guide us. Let justice speak, but let it speak once. That is enough." Hale stared at the screen. Her eyes, so calm, so sure. He turned it. Off, outside, high in orbit, the Echo protocol pulsed quietly, ready to broadcast Earth's message across the galaxy in seconds. But for now, it remained silent, because Earth was watching and waiting. Across the stars, other species began to change. The old powers stepped back. Young races learned respect, not from fear alone, but from awe. They studied humans, their history, their pain. They saw the wars Earth had survived, the mistakes it had made, the peace it had built, and they began to understand Earth was not cruel, it was patient. On a green world near the edge of mapped space, a new alien race called the Ishinari sent a message to Earth. They had lost their homeworld in a solar storm. They had no weapons, no army, just a signal. "We ask for help, not as allies, not as soldiers, just as people." The message reached Earth. General Hale received it personally. He watched the faces of the Ishinari, thin, bird-like creatures, with sad eyes, and felt something stir. He turned to Admiral Ilara Voss. "Send aid." She raised an eyebrow. "No warning, no conditions." He shook his head. "They didn't strike us, they asked. That's all Aria ever wanted. Earth sent food, water, tools and teachers, and no warships." The galaxy watched in silence. This time, Earth had not replied with destruction. This time it replied with kindness. The lesson was clear. If you raise a weapon to Earth, it will end you. If you raise a hand in peace, it will lift you. Far away, at the edge of the galaxy, a group of neutral observers gathered at the memory beacon, a giant satellite orbiting the ruins of Kelvar 9. Inside the beacon was a hologram. Aria Monroe. Her message played in every language. "I speak for Earth. I bring peace." People came from 1,000 worlds to see it. Some wept, some prayed, others simply watched and remembered. Back on Earth, Hale stood with Ilara on the bridge of a new station. Unity. One floating above the planet. "You think it's over?" she asked. He looked out at the stars. "No, it's just begun. But there's peace now." "Yes," he said, "because we finally proved we could speak louder than anyone else. Not with guns, but with truth." She smiled. "And silence?" He nodded. "Sometimes silence is the loudest thing in the universe." Below them, the planet spun slowly, green, blue, and full of life. Earth was not just a home anymore. It was a legend. And the message that started everything, Aria's message, was now carved into the walls of every human ship, every outpost, every satellite. Simple words, words that shook the stars. "We bring peace, we offer it once, refuse it, and Earth will remember." And so the galaxy learned. They thought it was just a message, but her execution didn't bring silence. It brought Earth's wrath in 33 minutes, and from that moment on, no one ever forgot what humans truly were. Not soft, not weak, but patient, powerful, and always watching. The Empire's High Council met in secret chambers, far from the public. Massive screens showed Earth spinning slowly, blue and calm. But everyone in the room now understood. It was an illusion. Admiral Cale's live report echoed through the chamber. "We are not dealing with a lost species. Earth is not weak, it is hidden, and what's hidden is far beyond us." The council was divided. One group demanded immediate attack. "Crush them before they rise." Another urged caution. "If they wanted war, we'd already be ashes." But one old voice, sitting in shadow, spoke calmly. "The Ghost Carrier." Everyone went silent. That name had been buried for generations. A myth, a story told to young officers, a legend, but legends sometimes are true. "Bring in Vurek," the voice said. A transmission opened. Commander Vurek appeared, pale and silent. He didn't salute. He didn't bow. He just spoke. "I saw it." That was all. One of the council. Elders leaned forward. "Describe it." Vurek closed his eyes. "It was deep under the ocean. I don't know how long it's been there, maybe since before our species left our first moon. But it's not old, not broken. It's alive. It felt me watching, and it let me go." "Why?" someone asked. "Because I was never a threat. But they want us to think. They want us to wonder what else is buried." Another member stood. "How can primitives build such power?" "They didn't just build it," Vurek said. "They became it. Their wars taught them. Their pain shaped them. They never left Earth because they didn't need to." The council murmured. Vurek's voice dropped lower. "They didn't lose history. They erased it. On purpose." The screens behind them changed. Footage played, not from Earth, from the Empire's deepest records, unreleased top-secret war logs, a battle hundreds of years ago, a giant unknown ship appearing in a distant system, single-handedly destroying an alien fleet. In minutes, then vanishing, no symbol, no known origin, but now it matched the Earthship perfectly. "The same carrier," one council member whispered. "But that was centuries ago." Vurek nodded. "They've had this power for a long time, but they used it only once. Then they went quiet. Until now." The council fell into silence again. At last, the elder voice in the shadows spoke. "Very well, begin phase 2. Everyone turned. "You mean contact?" "No," the old voice said. "Observation, quiet, no more provocation. Let them speak first." But outside the chamber, not all agreed. A younger general, full of pride and fear, sent a private order. "Prepare a stealth strike. If they bleed, we strike hard." Meanwhile, back in Earth orbit, strange things began to happen. Empire ships reported time distortions. 5 seconds stretched into 30. Sensors looped. Some saw flashes of the same ship in different places, like it was testing them or warning them. On Earth, deep beneath the Pacific, something else began to rise. Not the ghost carrier. Something smaller, human, but sleek, fast, and cloaked. In dark alloy, a signal beamed into space. It wasn't a threat, it was an invitation. "Send one only. No weapons, no lies. We will speak." Admiral Kyle stared at the message. It pulsed slowly on the screen, like a heartbeat. "This is it," he whispered. "They chose to send a diplomat, but not just any. They sent Ambassador Taryn, half-human, born from a rare peace treaty long ago. She spoke Earth's languages. She knew their history. She also believed in peace. She took a small shuttle unarmed and descended into Earth's sky. As she passed through the clouds, she saw it. A hidden city under the ocean, not ruins, not dead, glowing structures shaped like spirals, towers with moving light, massive walls built into the ocean floor, a city built for giants. And in the center, a structure shaped like a blade, half submerged, half awake. It was watching her. Her shuttle landed gently on a floating platform. A single figure waited there. Human, male, old, but his eyes glowed faintly with light. Not cybernetic, not artificial, evolved. He spoke first. "Welcome home, daughter of stars." Taryn stepped forward, calm but stunned. "You knew we would come." "We've always known," the man said. "The galaxy forgot us, but Earth remembers everything." "Why show yourselves now?" she asked. The man looked toward the horizon. "Because it's almost time." "Time for what?" He smiled, sad, ancient. "To return." Suddenly, behind him, the ocean shifted. The ghost carrier began to rise, not fast, not loud, just steady, massive, endless. Its surface shimmered like water and metal, like it didn't belong to this time. Taran's breath caught. "What is that ship?" The man turned to it. "That is not a ship, that is a promise." Above, in orbit, alarms rang across Empire vessels, but no attack came, only silence. And one final message sent to both Empire and Earth alike. When the stars go dark, only the prepared will remain. No one knew what it meant, but everyone felt the same cold truth. Something was coming, and Earth was already ready. The Empire's fleet stayed silent in high orbit. No new orders came from the Council, no reinforcements, no retreat, just waiting for Earth to act. Inside the flagship Night Watcher, Admiral Kale stood alone in the observation deck, staring at the blue planet below. The images from Ambassador Taran's meeting played in a loop on the central screen, the glowing ocean city. The old man with shining eyes, and the rise of the ghost carrier. It haunted everyone who saw it. That ship wasn't made to fight, it was made to end things. Kyle turned as his officer approached. "Sir, we've received a second message. It's unusual. Play it." The message was audio only, a human child's voice, peaceful, calm. "Stars fall. Shadows rise. We remember. Do you?" Then silence. "What kind of message is that?" the officer asked. Kyle didn't answer, because he recognized the words. He had heard them once, long ago, during a classified operation near a destroyed colony, an ancient warning found carved into black stone. It was Earth's voice. From before Earth was broken, suddenly alarms rang out. The stealth scout, sent in secret by the young general, had entered Earth's upper atmosphere, unauthorized. "Who gave that order?" Kyle barked. "Not from this ship, sir. Outside chain of command." The scout craft was armed, fast, and cloaked. But as it reached 70 kilometers above the Pacific, something tore through its hull. Not a missile, not a laser, just force, like gravity had twisted sideways. The craft spun, systems died, and before it could crash, before it could even fall, something caught it. A black drone, no wings, no engine, just a sphere of dark metal. It carried the scout back into space and dropped it gently in front of the Night Watcher. Completely intact, but every single circuit inside melted. No attack, just a message. "Don't test Earth again." Admiral Kale's hands clenched behind his back. "Recall every forward unit now. No more hidden moves." But it was too late. The humans knew. Taran's voice came through. She was still on Earth. Her tone was calm but serious. "They are disappointed. They said the Empire speaks with fear, not respect. They are considering closing the door." Kyle's eyes widened. Tell them we didn't order that." "I did," another voice said, entering the comm line. The younger general. He didn't apologize. "I don't trust ghosts and riddles. If Earth is hiding power, we must test it." "Know its limits," Taran replied coldly. "They already showed you limits. You just didn't listen." The general ended the call. Kyle slammed his fist against the wall. Foolish pride would get them all killed. Suddenly, a third voice entered. The line, one no one expected. The old man from Earth. His voice was steady, kind, but heavy with warning. "There will be no more second chances. The ocean will close. The sky will shut. And what sleeps below will not sleep forever." The line cut. Then Earth went dark. All signals, all readings, total blackout. For 12 full minutes. The Empire couldn't see the planet, couldn't scan it, couldn't hear it. It was as if Earth had vanished. And when it came back, the ghost carrier was gone. Not in the water, not in orbit. Just gone. The officers, panicked. "Where did it go? No jump detected. No trail." Then the Night Watcher shook, just once, but every system flickered, and from the shadows of space the ghost carrier reappeared. Behind them, it had moved across orbital distance without warning. Without sound, without effort, the Empire's targeting systems tried to lock on. They failed. Weapons refused to arm. Engines dropped to standby. The ghost carrier did not fire. Instead, a single beam of light projected forward. Not a weapon, a memory. It showed an old battle, the one from centuries ago, the Empire's darkest hour. The Empire saw itself losing, dying, and in the final moment, a human hand reaching out, saving the last ship. They didn't remember that, because it was erased from their history, but Earth remembered, because it never forgot. The light vanished. Kale spoke slowly, almost to himself. We thought we ruled the stars, but Earth walks between them. In his heart, he knew now. This wasn't about war. It wasn't even about power. It was about balance. Earth had seen what was coming, not from the Empire, but from somewhere darker, something worse, something that scared even them. Taran sent one last message before the channel fell silent again. Earth is not our enemy. They're preparing for something big, and if we don't listen, we'll all be gone before we understand why. In the command room, Kyle stood before the fleet captains. His voice was firm. This is no longer a mission. This is no longer about pride. He looked at the image of Earth, calm, silent, watching. We are no longer the strongest in this galaxy, and we never were. Outside the Night Watcher, stars seemed to dim again, and something far beyond the edge of the solar system moved, not toward Earth, but toward everything. And Earth was getting ready. Far beyond Earth, on the edge of the solar system, something crossed into real space. It wasn't a ship. It wasn't alive, but it was coming. Sensors from every Empire vessel blinked the same warning. Anomaly detected, class unknown, velocity beyond. Light, the readings made no sense. Time twisted, space bent. Admiral Kale stood on the bridge of the Night Watcher, watching the distortion on the screen. "What is it?" his officer asked. Kale answered without blinking. "The reason Earth woke up. The anomaly stopped between Mars and Jupiter. Not orbiting, not moving, just waiting, like it knew. And that's when Earth acted. Across the planet, something ancient awakened. Mountains moved, oceans boiled, not with heat but with energy. Dozens of massive structures rose from beneath Earth's surface, each shaped differently. Some were towers, some were floating arcs, some were living machines. None of them had ever been seen by the people of Earth, not even their own governments. All of it had been hidden, buried, protected. The ghost carrier returned, hovering above the Pacific, glowing with white-blue light. Earth had become a fortress, and not just a fortress, a signal, a message to the stars. We are awake. Taran stood inside one of the ocean cities, speaking to the same old man she met before. "Is it time?" she asked. He nodded slowly. "The stars have cracked. The old silence is ending." "What is that thing out there?" The old man looked up through layers of ocean and sky. "A devourer. It doesn't want planets. It doesn't want war. It eats history. It erases civilizations completely." Taran went pale. "How do we stop it?" "You don't. You remember. That's how you survive it." From orbit, the Empire's fleet tried to scan the object. No success. No data. Even time near it moved slower. Ships that drifted too close stopped sending messages. One vanished completely. Not destroyed. Just gone. Admiral Kale received a final direct communication from Earth. The screen lit up with the old man's face. He looked tired but focused. "This is our fight. But we will not turn away help. If you stand beside us, remember this. Don't fire, don't lead, follow." Kyle nodded. For the first time in his career, he spoke with no pride, only respect. "We will follow." Then it began. The sky above. Earth shattered like glass, not broken, but split, as if space itself had torn open. The devourer had arrived, not a ship, not a being, a presence, a hole where light should be. The moment it appeared, stars in the background blinked out. Not destroyed, forgotten, even. Kale felt a part of his memory vanish, a face, a name, gone. That's when the ghost carrier moved, faster than light but not with speed, with purpose. It didn't attack, it sang. A pulse of energy spread from the carrier, like music but deeper. Reality shook. The Earth-based structures responded, sending beams of light toward the ghost carrier. Then it changed. The ship transformed, no longer a carrier, now a living arc, curved, glowing, its surface pulsing with memory. Not weapons, stories, billions of voices, memories, emotions, lives, channeled into form. The devourer paused, its edge wavered. For the first time, uncertain, because what it fed on, lost history, forgotten people, was now being remembered faster than it could erase. Earth was fighting not with weapons, but with truth. Taryn watched from below. "They're showing it everything," she whispered. The old man nodded. "If even one person remembers. It cannot win." Kyle stood in silence. He remembered his home world, his mother's face, the song his brother used to hum, and for the first time in decades, he let those memories live. Across the fleet, others did the same. They turned off targeting systems. They opened memory files. They told stories, and Earth amplified them. The devourer began to fold inward, shrinking. Star by star, the stolen light returned. History once eaten came back. The stars remembered who they were, and the void was no longer hungry. With one final echo, the devourer vanished, gone. Not destroyed, but defeated by the one thing it could never understand. Remembrance. The ghost carrier returned to its ocean cradle. The lights on Earth dimmed. The structures sank, not because the threat was over, but because Earth had made its choice. It would wait again, until needed. Taryn returned to the fleet. She looked at Admiral Kale. "It's done." He stared at the quiet planet below. "No, it started." "Started?" she asked. He nodded. "Now, we know they're out there, watching, protecting, waiting, and maybe one day we'll become something like them." Taryn smiled faintly. "Maybe, if we remember." The fleet turned from Earth, no longer an enemy, no longer a mystery, now a warning and a hope. In the dark parts of the galaxy, others still slept. Old threats, older secrets. But now one truth was clear to all who traveled the stars. Earth was not weak. Earth was not late. Earth had simply waited for the right moment to return, and now it had. Forever remembered, forever feared, forever human, forever ready.